Now we're going to factor uh, in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c using the x method when b is negative and c is positive. So now we're still using the x method, but now a couple of things are a little different. Our b term is now negative and our c is positive, so it's going to make our factors look a little different. But we still follow the same format. First thing we're going to do here is we're going to identify our a's, b's, and c's in example 3, which is 3x squared minus 7x plus 2. So our a is 3, our b is negative 7, and our c is positive 2. So now we're going to do our AC, which is a times c. A times c here is 3 times 2, which is 6. And then we're going to identify our b, which is negative 7. The sign in front of it goes with it. So now we're going to find our factors. We're always going to find our factors with whatever AC is, and AC is a positive 6. Now, because b is negative and c is positive, both our factors are going to be negative numbers, because the only way you can get a middle term, the only way you can get your middle term negative and your constant positive is you have to have two negative numbers, because when you multiply a negative times a negative, it gives you a positive for the constant. But when you add it two negatives together, you get a negative. Okay, so now both our factors here are going to be negative numbers. So we got negative 1 and negative 6, and negative 2 and 3. And since our middle term is a negative 7, we're using this right here, negative 1 and negative 6. So now we're going to fill in the rest of our x's here. So we're going to write negative 1 right here and negative 6 right here. We're going to divide by whatever a is, and a is positive 3. Positive 3. When you have negative numbers, the negative stays in the numerator. That's going to help you when you do your bottoms up and write your final answer. But let's look to see if we need to reduce our fractions. Negative 1 over 3 can't be reduced any further, but negative 6 over 3 reduces to negative 2 over 1. Reduces to negative 2, but I like to write as a fraction so you can do your bottoms up. When you get used to it, you don't have to put the 1. You'll just know. But just so that you know what's going where, I just go ahead and write it as a fraction. So now we're going to do our bottoms up for our final answer. So here we're going to start at the bottom. So it's 3x, and that's a negative 1, so you just say minus 1. And then for this one, the bottom is a 1, and we don't necessarily write 1 as a coefficient, so I'm just going to say x, because it's really a 1x, and then subtract 2. So I'm going to rewrite this over here, and then put a box around it. So 3x minus 1 times x minus 2 is our factor term. You can do the FOIL method or box method to check your answer, and when you do, you should get the original problem back. Now let's go to example 4. Our example is 2x squared minus 15x plus 28. We're going to identify our a's, b's, and c's. So our a here is a positive 2. Our b is a negative 15. And our c is a positive 28. We're going to do our AC, A times C. So 2 times 28 is 56. And then our B is negative, so it's a negative 15. So we're going to find all our factors of whatever AC is, and AC is 56, so it's positive 56. And because B is negative and C is positive, both our factors must be negative numbers. So let's write down our factors of positive 56. All right, so we got negative 1 and negative 56. We got negative 2 and negative 28. By the way, -1 and -56 is a -57, so we know that's not our middle term. -2 plus a -28 is a -30, so we know that's not it. Then you got -7 and -8. But look here, -7 plus -8 is -15, and that's what we're looking for. So those are our two middle terms there. Let's go back to our x. So we got a -7 here, -8 here. We're going to divide by our a, and our a number is a 2. -7/2 can't be reduced any further, but -8/2 reduces to a -4/1. So now we're going to do our bottoms up. Okay, so we're going to start at the bottom. So that's a positive 2x. Subtract 7. That 7 is negative. For this one, we don't write the 1 as the coefficient, just say x, and then it's subtract. So I always like to rewrite it, and then box or circle around it. And there we go. Again, you can use the FOIL method or the box method to check your answer, and you should get the original problem back.